Well, welcome back to TuckerAllen Live. I'm Scott Trout, and again, it's Friday at 1 o'clock Central Time, and we're here joining you with the attorneys from TuckerAllen. And we want to bring you just information for the next 10 to 15 minutes where we're going to talk about spot issues. And today is no different, other than I'm inside rather than last week. We were outside enjoying the beautiful weather. So I'm joined by one of the TuckerAllen attorneys. Welcome.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey, let's talk about something that I think that many people, and we did this last year, we're coming up on the summer season, which means as we encroach upon returning to school for college kids, this is something that many people overlook. And that is what I would say kind of some planning for college age kids. And what do you need to do rather than, in addition to packing their stuff, getting them a refrigerator or a microwave, getting them all their vaccinations and their health checkups. What we need is, what I'll say, is an estate planning checkup for kids age 18 and older, right?
That's right, Scott. Yeah, they're not kids anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, when they hit that 18, they become the adult in the adult world. And what we talked about probably last year, even during COVID, and why this was so important during COVID, and there are a number of things that parents, and I am guilty. I've got 5 kids. I put 3 through. 1 more is getting ready to go next year. And I didn't think about it until I was doing this program with attorneys from TuckerAllen. And we talked about doing a power of attorney for financial purposes for your college age kid. And it's not too late if they're in college. It's certainly right on time if they're getting ready to go to college. So maybe you can talk a little bit about the financial power of attorney that really is important for that age group rather than what we really think of traditional estate planning.
Sure. And as I'm sure it's not a surprise to anyone, college kids need money from time to time. And so they probably have their own bank account. The parents will probably have to talk to the college on their behalf since, parents are probably footing the bill to begin with. So their information's private. They're adults now. The parents are no longer their legal guardian. So the college age kids really do need a power of attorney naming their parents so that they can talk to the college, talk to the banks without any barriers or hoops to jump through.
Here's a classic example, I think. So I send my daughter away years ago, and instead of opening a local bank, we decided to keep her bank account that was here, local bank, my name's on it, or her name's on it, not mine. And I need to do something in the bank, and yet I can't do it. I don't have a financial power of attorney. They won't talk to me. They won't give me access. I know them very well. Local bank, I've been banking with them for 30 years. But hey, they're following the rules. But without that financial power of attorney, I can't do anything. And that was a rude awakening to me of just thinking, oh, I know them. They know me. I'll take care of business. And that just is a great example of why people need it, especially when you send them off to college.
Yeah, it's a shocker for parents when they can no longer take care of their baby, and the banks won't talk to them. It really is a rude awakening.
Yeah, even if they were to open a local account, I think it now makes more sense that you can transact with this. You can take care of things when you need to. You can do what's necessary, transfer money out, transfer money in. You can do that. And I think it's just really sound planning. But one of the next steps that we've talked about, especially during COVID, was a healthcare power of attorney. We talk about this for people who, my age, older, anyone who's married or not married, graduated. And we kind of said, look, if you can't think about doing a healthcare power of attorney now during COVID, when we have a pandemic, when will you think about it? But now it's become even more important when you send your child away. Maybe they're not in town, they're out of town, the healthcare power of attorney. Isn't it necessary for this child or this 18-year-old or 20-year-old who's in college?
Oh, absolutely. Especially like you said with COVID and them limiting how many people can be in the hospital to visit. And you've got, this 18-year-old kid now or 18-year-old adult in the hospital. Parents are worried they got hurt or sick and nobody will talk to them. Not even the college, health center can release information due to HIPAA and stuff. So you need the healthcare power of attorney to make decisions as well as a HIPAA release to just talk to people.
It's very similar to anyone who's had a child go to college where you have no access to their grades unless the child signs a release by federal law and by the federal code. And they can do that. Actually, interestingly, the schools will give the child that option right away to say, okay, would you like someone to have access to your records? even to pay bills. And so it's just another peace of mind move. And why I think this is important, we'll talk about a will in a minute, is that I think in June or July, every year, TuckerAllen does a POA program where we will do this full packet for college age kids going away to school. I think it's $100. In order to get that, you want to go ahead and tune into social media, subscribe or follow TuckerAllen on Facebook. You want to be alerted when that program comes around because it's a steal. For $100, peace of mind, I'm telling you, to know that, okay, I can make financial decisions, I can transact if I need to, and then if they get sick and I need to talk to someone, I can. Otherwise, you're shut out and you're a distance. That was always, I think, my biggest fear is, my kids have never really gone to school more than about 5-6 hours away. But imagine, having to be shut out and you've got to hurry to drive and you don't know what's going on. That's just terrifying.
Yeah, and then you get there and no one will talk to you.
I know, right? And say, do you have a healthcare power of attorney? Well, what do you mean? I have one for myself. I just think that when you send them to college, you don't get that sense that it's time. And I think that as lawyers, we do a poor job at ensuring that the public knows that something so simple can be so effective. And, especially in estate planning, I just don't see it. I don't see law firms letting people know that, hey, you know what? In addition to meeting your own needs, your family planning, your estate needs, and making sure that your loved ones are taken care of if you die, that we should also take care of your kids for nothing, for $100. It's crazy. So, I think so. A will, obviously. Is this something that college age kids should be considering?
Yes and no. I mean, people think, my kids got no real assets. They don't have any kids of their own. But if an 18-year-old child dies, they do have their bank account that you newly set up and funded using their power of attorney potentially. And without a will, it's just going to pass according to the laws of the state. If they've got siblings, the default is parents and siblings equally. If they've got minor siblings, well, now we're talking about a minor sibling inheriting a small amount of money. And now we've potentially got to open a guardianship for an UTMA account for the minor child. But it's just as simple as drawing up a very short will that says everything goes to my parents. And that's really all it takes, just in the event the worst should happen.
So if you're watching right now on Facebook, ask a question. I'm just monitoring our comment section in case you have questions. We'll try to get those answered. But it's kind of interesting. My daughter's gone away, and she had a job in the summers and had some money and had a car. But yet I'm thinking, I doubt that she's listed anyone as a beneficiary. Or my son living up on the East Coast, and now it makes me think, boy, I'm missing out here, because we all think about, estate planning is about death, about planning for death. But what we really should be focusing on is protection, and protect your kids, avoid probate. Our last virtual town hall, we talked about probate and the costs associated with probate. I mean, no one wants to have another lawyer get involved and charge these statutory fees, because they're set by statute that you have to charge them, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, it's a minimum amount that statute gives us. And if it takes longer, there's a family fight, and then we've got to, apply for that with the courts. But yeah, the statutes give us a minimum amount that we can charge. And it's right there in the statute.
Yeah. So, I guess we think about it as, again, you're watching or you watch this replay, go ahead and let's follow the social media. It's the fastest way to find out when this program gets rolled out. It'll be in the summer. It'll be in advance so that your kids can get taken care of. It's a very simple process. It's same day. We come in, get it done. You walk out the door, and it's cheap. And believe me, it's a giveaway, because we spend more time probably preparing the documents, getting this done and making sure. And I think it's important. We're just trying to get the message out that kids need these documents. So kind of as we wrap up today, Jim, what is the takeaway here? Kind of that everybody can walk away in this idea of sending kids to college and what they need.
They're all grown up is the takeaway. They've got their own accounts, they've got their privacy rights, and the parents, if they still need to help them, they're not going to be able to do that as freely as they used to be able to when they were their legal guardian. Without a simple document, a power of attorney for finances, a power of attorney for healthcare, And, something bad happens, we may need to open a guardianship proceeding in a court. And that it's just so easy to avoid with $100 package of powers of attorney. And then they're ready for college. They're ready to grow up and be on their own, but still have their parents there helping them.
Right. And I mean, it's not morbid. I think that's the thing that people, how do I talk to my kids about this? I think it's a really great idea. You're setting them up to understand, perhaps this is step one of you, as you said, they're all grown up. And as you get older, these are the things you or your potential spouse, partner needs to take advantage of. And I think that helps them understand that there's responsibility, that they can actually participate in these decisions. We've talked about making wise decision about who should be in charge of health, who should be in charge of finances. Maybe that's a conversation that a parent has and saying, look, I want you to pick, Bobby, I want you to pick who should make financial decisions for you. I want you to pick who should make healthcare. Maybe they have a family member who's in medicine, and that would make sense. I think it's a great conversation. And again, at that price, it's amazing. And so I know I made the mistake, and it was a rude awakening. I never really thought about it that way. And that's just a failure to educate. And I think that we all think that estate planning belongs with elderly, and it doesn't. And I think that's perhaps what the pandemic, if you take anything positive away from the pandemic, that's what it's taught us. And that proper planning equals protection, no matter age or where you live or how healthy or what comorbidity you may have, those types of things. So I think it's a really good topic today, and it's something I think we should continue to focus on and talk about. And so, again, thanks for joining today and kind of just giving a spotlight on this really, really important topic for college-age kids. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, continue to tune in. We're going to do this every Friday, same time, 1 o'clock Central Time, same place, right here on Facebook, TuckerAllen Live. Also, check out Virtual Town Hall coming up. The only way you can attend is going to the website and registering, and it's free. But you can log in, you can log on, and you can ask questions live of the TuckerAllen attorneys, and you're going to get answers. So it's a great virtual town hall. We're going to spend 30 minutes or so just going over some hot topics and answer your questions. And so I encourage you to do that. You can check us out again on social media. Go to TuckerAllen.com. If you want a consultation, hear more about this package that we have, or more about just general estate planning, go to TuckerAllen.com. You can schedule a consult on the website. Don't even have to talk to a human being if you don't want to. We try to make it as easy as possible. And that consult can be just like this, utilizing the computer, Zoom, WebEx, whatever it may be, telephone, in person, whatever you feel is appropriate, because TuckerAllen has offices in the St. Louis metropolitan area, over across in Illinois, and up in Kansas City as well. So until next Friday, same time, same place, looking forward to seeing you, and would love to see you at the next virtual town hall. So until next time, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.